Saudi used to produce, nearly 10 million barrels a day. In the last year, it's been producing around 9. So obviously, the loss of 1 million barrels a day is having an impact here. So I think, in broader terms, it really depends on the length of that oil price shock. If we're talking about a short-term one, 6 months, maybe a year, I think the kingdom has clear growth plans. They have multiple avenues of finance. We've just seen Aramco coming to the market, raising $5 billion. I think if the sovereign also comes to the market will be more than happy to keep lending. So if it's a short-term, I think short-term kind of drop in oil prices, I think the government can manage that and keep focusing on their growth, their growth plans with. I guess they have to show also still a bit some kind of fiscal consolidation, and trying to show that they're responsible on the fiscal side. If this is more of a longer term, oil price shock, and we're going to see like oil sub 70 for a few years, I guess this would probably require some bigger revision for the government, spending plans. We've already seen them, like a year ago, they talked about a recalibration exercise, which they've, had a comprehensive revision of the spending plans. So if this is going to be like a longer oil price shock, I guess this might trigger like a 2.0 version of this exercise.
I speak with Saudi officials regularly, including the economy minister, and one question I often ask is, does Saudi Arabia need to cut spending on these mega and giga projects in order to reduce the budget deficit? And also, what more can be done to crowd in private capital here? The government has much more work to do when it comes to de-risking the private sector-led investment space in Saudi Arabia in order to take the pressure off public finances. What the World Bank report also tells us, though, is that when it comes to private investment across MENA, the situation also still looks pretty weak. So I want your take on that as well. What do you think is holding back capital formation in key economies like Saudi Arabia today?
I guess obviously, the regional context has not been of great help. There's been a war in the region for more than almost 2 years now. Obviously, there's a big concern about what's happening with, Iran and so on. So the geopolitical side has not been, the best so far in the Middle East. But I think it's probably also a bit has to do with, let's say, the infrastructure within Saudi, not the physical infrastructure, but more, the legal side of things. I mean, just the government. Just a few months back, they've issued the investment law, and then they've issued the executive regulations of the investment law. That's something that's, it's an important step, but, it's still very new. Obviously, investors need to digest this and see like the practical side of how things will play out. I think another one is probably the government needs to have a bit of a revisit about, the structure and the role of PIF in the economy, because I guess so far PIF has been used as the engine of growth, investing in a lot of different sectors to try to get the growth going and open new avenues of growth, and maybe also this has the drawback of maybe unintentionally in a way crowding out private sector. Not I said not intentionally, but the idea is like if PIF is in everywhere, it was seen as a way to crowd in. Maybe that model needs to change a little bit. I think we've seen some a good experience that we think could be a replica in the real estate sector, where the kingdom has been lacking the big real estate developers, given the way it used to build its own properties before. Now they're inviting more private sector who are coming and having some forms of PPPs, or even having their own investments. I think if we see more of this more of this model being replicated, I guess this will open more and more for private sector to engage in Saudi Arabia. I mean, especially even foreign money, which then will be very critical. It'll be a very, very critical sign of success, and as you exactly said, it will be just relieving the pressure on the budget. So I think more work needs to be done on the infrastructure side of things, and testing that new infrastructure on the legal side, litigation, the investment laws and so on. And then on the other side, a bit of a rethink about the role PIF in the economy and investment promotion, basically.